Hello everybody, welcome back. We are doing a 30-minute VOD review, and this is an interesting one because we actually have two of my viewers in this game. This is Pen, one of my most loyal viewers. Pen has kindly redeemed a 30-minute VOD review, and this is Ninja. Ninja has also been a viewer for a little while. So we're going to be just watching the game, and I'm going to try and focus on maybe 1 to 2 things and try and give them some tips and some advice. And other than that, I disappeared. I didn't mean to disappear. I'm sorry guys, I'm coming back. Hello, I'm back. Okay, this is going to be a bit interesting because there's 2 of you. I'm going to try and find something that both of you can learn from, but at the same time, paying attention to 2 people at once, some of the points might just be, you know, for both. It might not be different points. But let's see. So you went Tristana, Thresh, press the attack Tristana. Interesting. So press the attack Tristana over Halo Blades. Pen, any particular reason? I don't think it's like terrible. It scales better, but Halo Blades is definitely better early game. You forgot you're supposed to go Halo Blade. It's all right. So you guys didn't actually invade, so you don't really know where they are right now. That's fine though. So a couple of quick points. Number one is it's generally quite normal right now. It's meta right now for AD carries to walk into these 3 brushes. Generally, they put a ward in the middle brush, reset, and get red trinket. Supports can also do that, and AD carries can cover, but you don't have to do that. It allows you to know if you're face checking people. And in this game, since enemy has Halo Blades, I actually think you lose the level 1 if you face check them and they're in the brush. I like what you're trying to do there. I like what you're trying to do. That's good. Guys, I want you to type this in fast in chat. You know, what do we know now for the next 2 minutes after seeing Kai'Sa and Soraka show up this late? Yeah, Lee started blue. Exactly. Good job. There is a chance that Lee could do full level 3 bot, but it's a really bad clear for Lee Sin. So basically, let's just pay attention to when you choose to walk up and when they choose to walk up. Okay, so that trade right there is a trade you only make if you have Halo Blades, okay? So if you have press the attack, you don't make aggressive trades early. And you probably already know that. It's probably important. This was actually a great chance to walk up here, because Soraka, for some reason, Soraka has decided to disconnect from the game temporarily. So you can actually walk up here. Tristana, her E is barely just coming up, but this would be a really good time to just start auto-attacking the Kai'Sa. If you trade HP, it's fine, because you can like pop a health pot and then you'll have level 2 advantage pretty soon anyways, so. Okay. So what you're doing there, Ninja, is a little scary. When the minions themselves are walking into you, like when their minions are moving forward and your minions are like here and you don't have any support, you should be very careful trying to walk into them, okay? Because if you walk into them, you're gonna, like, they both auto attack you and the minions auto attack you, and there's no way you're gonna turn around, because if you turn around, you're gonna get hit by their minions. So be careful about doing stuff like that. And now here, again, there's a really good episode of Core JJ where he talks about the little support triangle. Okay, so you have to make a little triangle between you and, you know, the enemies. Right now, what you guys are doing is you're not making a very good angle of attack. You're not like together. You're really, really split up, okay? You want to, like, ideally, you want to be in a line, or you want to be somewhere where the strongest member, or the member who it needs to be closest, like Thresh, he's shorter range than Tristana, well, slightly. He would be slightly in front of Tristana, okay? But this angle here you guys got going on, it's bad. And you're going to lose a lot of HP here if they play this correctly. Why isn't Soraka? Oh, shit. Okay. You guys can't see this. Soraka started W. So that is why nothing is happening level 1. If you're Soraka, don't start W. Okay, a couple things. Number 1, I think Pen had the right idea, but I think Pen, you should just probably ping it, okay? That was a really good jump, actually. So Pen's paying attention to the minions, and he's like, okay, we're going to hit level 2. I'm going to go in as soon as I hit level 2. You should probably be like pinging the minions, pinging that you're on your way. Like, there's so many different things you can do if you're not on comms to try and like prime Ninja. And then Ninja, it's your job to pay attention to this stuff. You're the support. You don't have to CS, okay? So you need to pay attention to the minions. Okay. Even before this minion gets this low, okay? This minion is so low already. Even before that, you should be walking forward. But you can flash here. As soon as this happens, and as soon as Pen lands his jump, you can flash E and they have to burn summons, is what I'd expect. And another thing, I see this is one of the most common mistakes by Thresh players in low elo, which is you don't commit to the guaranteed CC, you go for the 50-50 hook. So what you're doing here, instead of walking up and flaying, because you can just walk up and press E, okay? And she probably has to flash. She doesn't even get to try and dodge your hook. She just has to flash. Instead, you go for a hook and you have to like aim it in this area. And there's like a 50% chance that she dodges to the left, 50% she dodges to the right. So it's like the chance you're gonna hit this is so low, or at least it's not low, it's just way lower than you just slowly walking up and Eing, because you were actually in range. She slowed. If you remember, Tristana jumped slowed, right? So this was definitely like just bad synergy. Before we continue the video, I just wanted to mention that over 90% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, and it really helps the channel if you hit that sub button. So if you're enjoying the video, please consider doing that. And if you want to see the full coaching VOD, the link is in the description. Right. So Ninja, what you should be doing, Ninja, is a lot of what I'm seeing here is just kind of play together. Just do one thing and do it together. Don't split up and do different things. Make sure that you guys are on the same page here. Pen's got the right idea. So you guys have just got an advantage. You've just won a trade and you've pushed them under tower. This is a really good board. What you should do, Ninja, you should walk with Pen, okay? And this ward, what you placed here is redundant. So, I mean, you can see this now. Now that I'm pointing it out, it should be pretty obvious. But if Pen's like, hey, let's go ward here, and you're like, no, I want to ward here. Okay, placing both wards is like, you now have really good deep vision here, and then this ward is just going to tell you the same thing that this ward will. You need to probably decide. What I would have done is just hold my ward, right? I would have just walked with Pen, put a ward down, and then we come back. Okay, and we're chilling. All right, so another interesting thing is we didn't really use the info that Lee Sin is going topside, right? I think Pen's ward is a ward I still probably would do in my games, because like I want to make sure that Lee Sin doesn't double back after red buff or something like that, do some weird path, but it's unlikely. There's a world in which you don't actually have to ward at all. Like you literally just don't ward, and you save your wards up for when you recall, and you can put some wards down before you base so that you can see them sneaking into the brush. But what I'm trying to say is you guys should know that Lee Sin's going to be top, right? You guys are probably one of the main people who can remember that Lee Sin's top. Why? Because you're bot lane and you know exactly where Lee Sin started. Jungler may not be paying attention to that. So just give him a couple pings, okay? I would be pinging around here. I'd be pinging careful around his camps. And it's a really predictable, easy ping. Okay, so they push you in, and it seems that we've taken a lot of damage. I think in general, yeah. So in general, you're going for hooks. You're playing Thresh as a hook champ. When in reality, in this lane, this specific lane right now, Thresh is not a hook champ. And there's actually a really good reason why. Yeah. So she puts her silence down. So he stands in the same place for a really long time when he hooks, right? So Soraka will silence. And here's the crazy thing. If you hook, like imagine this minion was Soraka. If she silences you, okay, you still can't flay her. You can't activate your hook again and move, like go to her. You can't W Tristana in. The only thing Tristana can do is jump onto Soraka. And if you can't use any of your spells, it's actually relatively dangerous for Tristana to just jump in because you're actually really low now, right? So in this matchup, Thresh versus Soraka, you have to be very careful about just throwing your Qs, okay? You can't just throw lob Qs out because a good Soraka player, she'll just, you know, she'll hide behind minions, she'll play behind minions, or she'll like call your bluff and she'll just silence you. And after she silences you, she's going to Q you, and then you're like half HP. And if you haven't landed a really insane hook, then you just lose the lane from there, okay? The general way you want to play this lane is you want to play in brushes. Okay, just you want to play to walk out and flay them with your E. Okay, that's the best way you play this lane. Okay, so you should die there. Kai'Sa just panics, I guess. But there's absolutely no way you should live here. First of all, this is what I'd call an empty hook. In a lot of cases, you're not in a position to do anything in lane here. Like, even if you hook, you should die. There's no way you should live here. Let me see if Soraka ignites. Okay. So Soraka forgets to ignite. Kai'Sa panics and runs away, even though she doesn't need to. Let me double check something. Okay, so she fails a Q here. So there's just a lot of things that the enemy team kind of didn't do to punish you. What you need to do here is cut your losses and bail, okay? Just, yeah, so basing and just saying, okay, look, we're going to lose a few minions, but I need HP is much more important here. You're losing time is what you're doing because you're getting stuck under tower, which is not ideal for you. See, here's the thing. Even though they played that fight really badly and Kai'Sa base tanked Tristana's full E, they still get stuff out of this. They're gonna get bot crab, they're gonna get a free reset. Those are the two things I predict them getting right now. So Lee Sin takes your wards as well. You're stuck under tower, Lee Sin gets bot crab. And it looks like enemy bot lane gets a reset. And this is a free reset. They're barely gonna lose any creeps. Okay? So it's kind of what's happening is basically you guys are just out of sync. That's like the main thing I'm seeing right now. You're just out of sync as a bot lane. Now what we're seeing is there's like a 9 CS gap. It's actually not that bad, but Kai'Sa has missed a fair amount, so you know it is what it is. Skirt. Nope, he's just doing Drake. That's fine. So what I would prioritize is I would just hard shove this wave in, because you see Nunu doing Drake and he could need help if Lee Sin shows up, especially with how low he is, right? Another thing is Pen, you were walking here while Thresh was doing stuff around here. Again, just kind of make sure you're pinging where you want to go, because choosing when you go in, when you go out, that kind of stuff. Most Thresh players instinctively they'll just hit Q. Okay, so this is a good example of a roam opportunity. I'll just go over this real quick. So you don't really need to be bot lane, Ninja. because there's nothing to do here. Okay, so Pen has pushed the wave in, and there's nothing really to do. You know that he's about to recall because he's got a bunch of gold from the fight you just won. So basically, you're just going to be standing around bot. So what I'd do is I'd look at the map and I'd be like, is there anywhere else I could go? Like, can I do anything? And yeah, there is somewhere else you go. So if you instead were running mid lane, maybe you don't save him, but there's a small chance you could potentially join this fight. But what you also could do is clean up with Yone, right? So just try and look at the map and be like, where could I actually be useful? That's a little bit more advanced. That takes a little bit more effort and time to think about. Okay. Right. So once again, I think this is a place or a window where you should flash play. So when you see Nunu here, okay, you see Nunu rolling in here, I would flash play with your E, okay? So you flash forward and then you E them backwards, right? That's like the normal Thresh combo. You do that, and like right now, there's a very good chance, like you could just flash onto Kai'Sa here if you wanted. I would go on Soraka personally, like Pen is doing, especially when Pen lands his E on Soraka. I would go on Soraka. Now what? Okay, you get the, put a nice ward down and you get the pink. So you're about to be ganked again. Okay. Right. So this is when your spidey senses should be tingling, Ninja. Okay, your spidey senses should be tingling. You should be like, oh shit, we're about to get ganked. Why? Because there we go. So you have no vision on the enemy team. Katarina has just pushed a wave in. You see this wave here? Pretty much the whole map is dark right now. So you shouldn't be like, oh my god, we are 100% getting ganked. You should be like, okay, there's a chance we could get ganked. And then the next question is, okay, if we do get ganked, do we die? Because sometimes if you get ganked, you can kill them, or you can literally like just walk away. it's not always that bad if you get ganked, right? But here's the thing. If you get ganked now, like if Lee Sin or Katarina shows up here, you guys get Herald on the other side of the map, okay? So I'd say this is a really good time to just chill. Just play safe and chill. And you can do that really well with Thresh. You just chill and wait and let Pen step up to the wave and finish the wave. And you're holding your abilities. And if you see suddenly you see Katarina and Lee Sin run at you, you can throw your lantern. You can throw your W. Pen will jump to you. So Pen doesn't have to use her Tristana W. You know what I mean? Thresh is one of the only supports that can do something like that. It's a really, really unique part of Thresh. Yeah. So going for these kind of hooks, again, when you have no vision in mid lane, is very risky. Okay. So once again, this is for Ninja. I'm sorry if I'm picking on you. You don't really need to be bot lane anymore, okay? I would probably path towards mid. And it's quite common for supports in high levels to always go towards this area of the map. Because this area of the map, you want to control. You want to control this area of the map as much as possible. Because there's so much traffic through this area. You need to see what's going on. And especially when you have champions like Galio and Nunu that are grouped up right now, you can see that your Yone, let's just go back to when you were in base, okay? So you're in base right now, okay? You spawned. And you see that Yone has just finished pushing top. Your mid laner has just finished pushing. So where can you go to do stuff on the map? Right now, if you go bot lane, nothing happens. Why? Because they can push you under tower. They can just keep your Tristana there. Now, there is a world in which she gets a dove, so I wouldn't run away from her completely, but I would check these brushes and get some vision down here and then walk bot. And what you're doing by doing that is you're kind of staying close to both mid and bot. You're keeping your options open. You're like going close to mid and being like, hey, if there's a fight, I'll be there. So it's just keeping your options open. All right, so Pen pushes one more wave and then goes back. All right, so at this point, you should probably consider this tower dead, right? Very, very low chance that you can defend this safely. This is one of those games, by the way, where Ninja, you can literally 1v9 this, okay? Why? Because if the enemy bot lane is playing like this, where they're just running away, right? They're just running away. They're not pressuring Pen. They're not forcing Pen to do anything difficult. And they're not being scary. You don't need to be bot. Okay. So at this point in the game, your priority should be to keep the enemies under pressure. You're really far ahead. So what you can do when you're really far ahead in these types of games is very simple. You don't have to think as much as the enemy has to think, okay? You can group up, or you can just push a wave and then group. And pushing a wave and grouping is always the more like disciplined approach. So basically what you do is you push mid. So you push mid up here and then you push top and then you force them to defend 2 towers. Okay, if they push bot, who cares? You can just dive them. Find the easiest, the weakest objective. The weakest objective for me right now is this. Or Baron. One of those two. Okay, you get another dragon. And very nice. Okay, so you should be sweeping. Before you do drakes and stuff like that, Ninja, you should probably be sweeping, okay? You'd be sweeping this area because this area is always a hotbed for wards. There's so many wards in this area. And it kind of looks like you guys are just going to walk this one in, eh, boys? Or are they going to surrender? All right, so they surrendered. So I can summarize all of this kind of stuff very simply with for Pen. I think Pen, you should probably in laning phase, you should use your pings a little bit more aggressively. It definitely, I can definitely tell that you are higher elo than some of these players here slightly because you're a little bit more like you're moving on the map a little bit faster. And for Ninja, I think you're a new player, so don't get overwhelmed by all the stuff that's happening. Choose one or two things. What I'd suggest to you is learn how to play backwards. That's like a really, really big skill on Thresh. So get more comfortable with playing backwards and don't just rely on your hook to engage in lane. The mechanics of Thresh, practice them in a practice tool and get comfortable flicking your mouse backwards to reverse play. And then finally, because you're not farming, you have a lot more time, or you should be looking at the minimap as much as possible. And you should be paying attention to like, okay, enemy mid laner is missing. That's spooky. Or, hey, enemy jungler has been missing for ages and we have no vision. That's spooky. And on Thresh, you can completely negate a lot of these situations by just standing a little bit further back than Pen and just waiting on your lantern, because your lantern is stupid busted in these situations. So that's probably my two pieces of advice for you. Will you be able to review my VOD too? If you redeem it, I will review it, my friend. Or if you buy a coaching session. Thank you very much for watching, boys and girls. Appreciate it. This is actually the first ever double VOD review, double duo VOD review I ever did. Let's go with that. But yeah, appreciate it. And